What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're a diehard Cowboys fan like me, you'll know there's always something big happening in the world of America's team. But today is extra special, and trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned for this one because it's big. Big news coming straight from the heart of Dallas. So sit back, grab your favorite snack, and let's dive into everything you need to know about the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. I'm talking about the newest addition to the coaching staff, the mystery of the coordinator position, and of course, the highly anticipated arrival of Nick Sorensen. It just happened. Let's get into it. Now, before we get started, if you're a Cowboys fan and you want the latest news, updates, and in-depth analysis on everything from trades to game highlights, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on anything we've got coming up. First off, let's give some context to why this move is such a big deal for the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, as we all know, have been through their fair share of ups and downs in recent seasons, particularly when it comes to their defense. The Cowboys' offense has had moments of brilliance, but defense has often been the Achilles heel, especially in big games. After all, when you have a team with so much talent, like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trevon Diggs, you start to wonder why this defense hasn't always lived up to its full potential. Well, it seems like the Cowboys brass might have just figured out part of the equation with the addition of Nick Sorensen. Now, let's get into who Sorensen is and why he's the right guy for the job. As I mentioned earlier, Sorensen has been around the NFL for quite some time, both as a player and a coach. He spent 10 years as a safety in the league, most notably with the Jacksonville Jaguars and St. Louis Rams, before transitioning into coaching. While his playing career wasn't as high profile as some of the league's superstars, Sorensen was the type of player you could always rely on to make the right play at the right moment. He was a solid contributor to every team he played for and a leader in the locker room, which is exactly the kind of mentality the Cowboys need. One thing about Sorensen that stands out is his ability to read offenses and make adjustments on the fly. As a coach, he's not someone who's just going to follow a rigid playbook. He's the type of coach who adapts to what the opposing team is doing and makes the necessary changes. In the modern NFL, this type of adaptability is critical, especially when you face high-powered offenses week in and week out. The Cowboys' defense has been known to struggle in games where they face high-tempo offenses or ones with a lot of variation in their scheme. Sorensen's experience as both a player and a coach gives him a unique perspective on how to handle that kind of adversity, and that's something Cowboys fans should be excited about. Now, let's talk about the coordinator role itself. It's clear that this isn't just about adding a new face to the coaching staff. The coordinator position is one of the most important on the team, and Sorensen has big shoes to fill. Under previous coordinators, the Cowboys' defense had moments of brilliance, but it also had a number of unpredictable breakdowns that cost the team games. Whether it was blown coverages, poor tackling, or just plain bad positioning, the Cowboys' defense has often looked disjointed at times when they needed to perform the most. Sorensen's job will be to bring cohesion and consistency to this defense, something that they've sorely lacked in recent years. With Sorensen stepping in as coordinator, one of the biggest changes we can expect is the emphasis on fundamentals and discipline. This is going to be a defense that is smart, disciplined, and able to make adjustments in real time. Remember, Nick Sorensen wasn't just a player who showed up on Sundays and did his job. He's a thinker, a strategist, someone who's always looking for an edge. So, it's not just about putting the best players on the field, it's about putting them in the right spots and making sure they know their assignments, which will ultimately lead to fewer mistakes and more consistency. I wouldn't be surprised to see a defense that gets off the field quicker on third downs, forces more turnovers, and stays in games when things get tight. Another thing that makes Sorensen an exciting addition is his focus on player development. As a former NFL player, Sorensen knows exactly what it takes to make it at the highest level. He understands the grind, the mental toughness, and the skills necessary to be successful. One of the most exciting aspects of his arrival is what this could mean for the young players on the roster. Look at Micah Parsons for a second, a generational talent who already has all the physical tools to be one of the best in the NFL. But even a player like Parsons can still take his game to the next level with the right coaching. Sorensen has the ability to refine Parsons' technique, whether it's his pass rushing moves or his ability to drop into coverage. And that's just one example. I think we're going to see other young players like Jabril Cox, Malik Hooker, and Dante Fowler Jr. elevate their games with Sorensen's guidance. Speaking of the younger players, let's talk about how Sorensen's arrival could impact the Cowboys' draft strategy moving forward. When you have a coach who knows how to develop young talent, it opens up new possibilities in terms of the types of players you target in the draft. For example, if the Cowboys are looking for another cornerback or linebacker in the draft, they might look for players who are versatile and can adapt quickly to new systems, knowing that Sorensen's coaching will help bring out the best in them. This could be a pivotal moment in terms of roster building, especially as the Cowboys look to address their defensive depth. Now, I know not everyone is sold on the move just yet, and that's understandable. Cowboys fans are always cautious when it comes to changes in the coaching staff, especially after the rollercoaster ride we've had over the last decade. But here's the thing: Sorensen is a guy who has proven himself in every role he's taken on. He's paid his dues, he's learned from some of the best coaches in the league, and he's coming to the Cowboys with a fresh mindset that could be exactly what the defense needs. He's not going to be a flashy hire that grabs all the headlines, but in the long run, he could be the guy who makes the biggest difference for this team. Let's not forget that the Cowboys are in a Super Bowl window right now. With a high-powered offense led by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard, this team is built to compete for a championship. But as we've seen in years past, defense wins championships, and that's where Sorensen comes in. If he can help the defense make the strides they need to compete with the best in the NFC, this could be the year the Cowboys finally break through and make a deep playoff run. Whether it's getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, improving coverage in the secondary, or tightening up the run defense, Sorensen has the tools to make it happen. Of course, it's easy to get caught up in the hype right now. We're all excited about what's to come. But we also know that talking the talk is one thing, and walking the walk is another. The true test will come when the Cowboys hit the field in the regular season. It's one thing to have a great coach, but it's another thing entirely to execute on Sundays. So, while Sorensen's hiring is certainly exciting, we'll be watching closely to see how it translates into real-world results. So, let me know in the comments below, are you excited about Nick Sorensen joining the Cowboys? Do you think his arrival will make the defense better, or do you need to see more before you get hyped up? As always, thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of the action coming from the Cowboys this season. This is an exciting time to be a Cowboys fan, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, stay strong, stay proud, and let's get ready for another season of Dallas Cowboys football.